Dub, what's in the tub? What's going on, my subscribers? Ace here, and I have the CCL Season 2 Round 3 match between my team, the Alabasta Arcanines, and Trent's team, the Mistralton Mandibuzz. Now, looking at our matchup here, you guys can see my team down at the bottom there. I went over it in the team builder, so I won't really go over it now. But Trent did end up bringing the Altario, which is probably his Mega, Golurk, Skarmory, Cresselia, Braviary, and Heliolisk. Now, we did have a match for about 4 turns, and unfortunately did DC due to his internet. But I didn't want to take a win off of that because that's not my style. I never will take that. You guys have seen it in Season 1 that we had DCs, but I will never take a win off of a DC. I don't enjoy that. So here we did have a 4-turn match. Basically, I revealed that I had like Sludge Bomb on my Amoonguss, and he revealed that he had Moonlight and Toxic on his Cresselia. But he felt that he didn't really remember what he did the first couple of turns, so we didn't want to kind of try and reenact it or anything like that. We just wanted to go straight off the bat. So like there, I let off with the Amoonguss because I felt it walled most of his team, and I'm right, obviously, and I figured that he wouldn't lead off with his Braviary because Braviary is his like direct counter to Amoonguss, and it hurts a lot of my team other than my obvious checks to it. But I was like, okay, so what is he going to lead off with? He might lead off with the Braviary just because I led off with the Amoonguss originally. So I'm going to lead off with my Zip Zap, the Raikou there. So we'll go into the battle right here, and we'll see how it went for me. So he's issuing the challenge to us. He's like, boy, come get it. I heard you talking that smack in the freaking power rankings, so I'm coming for it. And to Trent's credit, he did bring a little bit more of an offensive team than I expected. I expected him to bring a lot more stall. But here, I obviously can't stand against this Heliolisk that he leads off with. But I figure my Amoonguss just walls this. Like I said, it walls 90% of his team. So here he just goes for the Volt Switch, which is a really good play on his part because he's allowed to Volt Switch out here, and he can bring in his Braviary, which is, like I said, his direct counter to this Amoonguss, and it puts him in a really good position. Now here I was like, okay, I could stay in predicting him to Rock Slide, but in this position, early turns, there's no way he would go for a Rock Slide. It just doesn't, like percentage-wise, it doesn't make sense for him. It would be better for him to just go for the Brave Bird and try and kill off my Amoonguss, which walls so much of his team. And even a Rock Slide, we could eat that, but he does go for the Brave Bird here, which is fortunate for me, because we can eat this up. Nice and yummy. It didn't do that. It didn't do little damage, but it did just enough that leftovers recovery just puts me in a really good position here. Now the way that he did that there, he took recoil damage, but he didn't take life orb damage. So I figure he is probably scarfed here. So I'm just gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to swap into his Cresselia, which he actually does here. And we get the Will-O-Wisp off. And now what's nice about getting off a Will-O-Wisp against Cresselia here and getting it burned is Cresselia does not get any healer moves like Aromatherapy or Heal Bell. So he's basically has to bring in his Mega Altaria with the possible Heal Bell to try and get this burn off. But that gives me an additional turn to kind of counteract that. So I just go for the burn, or the protect here, allowing the burn to whittle him down a little bit, and I want to scout what he's going to do. So he goes for the HP Fire there, and now I told you guys that I saw that he had Toxic, so he probably figures I'm going to swap into Durant here. Now, I'm just going to swap straight into my Amoonguss. I'm going to Volt Switch on this turn right here, just to get off more damage on him as he gets the burn damage there. I'm just going to Volt Switch out here, because I can go directly into Amoonguss, and I know I can eat up an HP Fire, and I can kind of scout if it's HP Fire or if it's something else, just based on the typings from Amoonguss. Because if it's super effective on me, obviously the 3 typings that would be super effective against me would be Fire, Ice, and Psychic, but it wouldn't make sense for him to have HP Psychic because it doesn't hit anything other than the Amoonguss, and he could just have regular Psychic. So that didn't really make sense to me, and I was like, okay, so it's either HP Ice or HP Fire, most likely HP Fire because Durant is such a big counter to Cresselia, because Psychic wouldn't really do much to me. So now here, I'm just really in a good position here. He can Moonlight up, but I'm just going to go for the offensive option here. I'm not going to let him stall. Like I said in the power rankings, I'm going to punish him for every kind of stalling, waiting around kind of thing. Because I have that burn on you, and I can get the Sludge Bob damage, and I can just slowly whittle you down. Even if you get leftovers recovery, burns are going to negate that, so I'm just going to be chilling here. And you're back at the same amount of HP that you were the turn prior. So I figure he has to swap out here, so I just go for the Sludge Bomb again, just to get off. Actually, I go for the Giga Drain here, predicting the Skarmory. Yeah. He brings in the Skarmory here. I get off the Giga Drain here, because I want to pop the Sturdy. I figured this is his direct swap in. I wanted to go for the HP Fire a little bit, and we did get a crit there. That was a little bit fortunate for us, because now his Sturdy doesn't re-pop. But really, it doesn't end up mattering, because I'm not going to be doing that much damage to him that he can't just roost back up the Sturdy. So now I figure he's probably going to go for Stealth Rock. So I go for the HP Fire here, not to let him get it up for free, because I don't want to swap out here. And I kind of want to see if he is bringing a more offensive Skarmory with the Brave Bird, but he just goes for the rocks. And he gets his leftovers here. Now I figure he's probably going to end up roosting right here. So I can make the more of an offensive swap here and put the pressure on him by bringing in my Latias here on his roost. And kind of see what he wants to do. So he does roost up here, like I thought. You know, the way he plays his team, I always predict him to kind of play a more defensive manner. So I was like, okay, you know, that's going to play to my benefit because I can play around this. So I default here, and I figure he's probably going to roost, predicting me to go for Draco or some type of move that can hit him for, like, high damage. But he just goes for the roost there, like he's already at Sturdy. So he just kind of wants to see what I'm going to do. So I go for the Thunderbolt here to bring him down to his Sturdy. And I thought he might roost here, but he actually surprises me a little bit. And he ends up going for the Brave Bird here, which isn't that good for him just because he's going to die here to recoil. But it does put him in an okay position in terms of my Latias because he does bring me down to a low amount of HP. But now his Stealth Rocker is gone, and now Amoonguss can just really spam Sludge Bomb, and I'm in a really good position here. So he brings in Washington, and the way he brings this in, I was like, okay, you're definitely Scarfed. There's no way that you're going to just bring this thing in against my Latias and like try and outspeed. So I just bring in Ding here. I figure he's probably going to go for the U-turn, but I have like such a good wall core against his team that I was like, okay, you know, I can kind of play this defensive measure against him and kind of play wall shuffle against him. So he U-turns out there into his Heliolisk, and I was like, okay, this thing probably has like Surf or like something that's going to hit me, but I want to see if he's going to try and make a prediction or something like that. So I just Protect here. Just a scout. I get HP recovery from leftovers, so why not do it? There's nothing you can really do about it. He goes for Surf there, and I was like, okay. Just the way he's playing this Heliolisk with Volt Switch and everything, I figure he's probably Specs or Scarfed. So I'm just going to go into my Amoonguss here because he can't swap up moves now, and we'll kind of see what he does here. So I bring in my Amoonguss, and he does go for the Surf again, so I was like, okay, you're definitely a choice in some sort. So what I'm going to do here is just go for a Sludge Bomb as he can swap out, but it doesn't really matter to me here because basically Sludge Bomb is just whittling down his team here. So now I get the Sludge Bomb damage off, and he's going to take burn damage after leftovers. It's just basically going to negate out, and I think, actually I think burn might do a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, burn did like a touch more. But here, I figure he's probably going to Moonlight again, but I just want to keep this thing low. I can't swap out and just let him get a free swap into something else. So I'm just going to Sludge Bomb here. I kind of wanted to go into Durant here to predicting that, but I figure it's not the time yet just because I want this thing, I want just damage on this thing. And if he went for the HP Fire and I lost my Durant that early, that would kind of suck. But he's staying true to the nature that I thought he would. You know, he's playing a very defensive game. He's moonlighting up. He's trying to keep his mons alive. And now he swaps out into Washington here, and I was like, okay, I guess this was an over prediction here, predicting me to swap maybe into my Durant or something, thinking that he would outspeed. But I am Choice Scarf as well as he's Choice Scarf, and I actually fortunately get the poison on the Sludge Bomb there, which brings him down just below half, which really puts me in a really good position because now Washington is on a timer, and it's going to be like a long battle for him trying to kind of fight his way back. So he goes for the Brave Bird here. He basically has to. Basically I have to make a mistake at this point for him to bring this battle back. So he goes for the Brave Bird here. He's going to take recoil and poison damage. So I was like, okay, I'm in a pretty good position here. I could Protect, but I figure he's probably just going to direct switch out because he knows that I have Protect, and that would just force him down for more damage. So what I'm going to do here is just go for the Volt Switch, predicting him just to directly swap out instead of you turning out. And he brings in his Salazar here. And this just lets me get off some good damage against this thing. Nice, good damage. It's not very effective, but we still getting damage out here. Damage is damage. I repeat, damage is damage. So we go into Poisonous because this thing just outright walls this thing. And it allows me just to spam more Sludge Bombs because nothing can really come in against this thing for free. So he just Volt Switch out here just to get damage. But it's not going to end up mattering because I do have the Regenerator. So basically here, I guess I'm stalling the Age Draft. I'm just playing Wall Shuffle here. And now he brings in the Cresselia, and this is like a never-ending loop, and this is kind of annoying for me. So I was like, okay, you know, I know he's going to Moonlight here, He stayed true to his nature. He's not like he's shown that he's not going to make an offensive play here. So I'm just going to go straight into my bugger, or not my bugger. I always call it bugger, but I'm going to go into my burb eater, the Durant here, just to kind of break the stalemate of like just ending up in a bad position for him and like slowly whittling him down. So I just want to go after it. So he moonlights up here like I predicted, and I was like, okay, he'll probably stay in here and HP fire because I'm not choice banded, so I can't take him out in one hit. I don't even think I'm full, even after burn damage I could with the choice band. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him into range where Blastoise can basically like hit Dark Pulse, and he like has to toxic me at one point if he wants to beat me, or I can get a crit and kill him off here. But I'm just going to let my Burb Eater go down because I don't really need it at this point. Like I'm just in like such a good position with the Braviary going down so far that I can just kind of afford to let Burb Eater go down there and just bring in Blastoise here and put offensive pressure because nothing really wants to swap into Mega Launcher boosted attacks. So we bring out extensions. Blastoise gonna come with the extensions like. Bruh! And here I'm just gonna fire off a Dark Pulse. I figure he'll probably Moonlight because he is faster than me, so he can get up his HP here. But I'm just going to Dark Pulse, and with the burn damage adding up there, it's basically, once he attacks me, he dies. And that's kind of what I want to bait out on him. I want him to attack me, because Blastoise at this point, with a combination of my offensive mons, can kill everything on the rest of his team. So I just Dark Pulse here. And the Dark Pulse actually does crit here. Like I said, it had a chance to. Which is unfortunate for... unfortunate for Trent there. I'm sorry, Trent. But, you know, that's kind of like the risk you play when you play Stall. Now he brings out this thing, and I was like, okay, I'm not taking a Thunderbolt or Thunder Volt Switch on this, so let me just go into Zip Zap here, because if he Volt Switches out, I'm in a really good position because nothing really wants to come in against this thing. But he goes for the Thunder. I figure he probably calced that for my Blastoise, and he misses, which is unfortunate. And now here I figure he's going to swap out because, like, even if he didn't Calm Mind, it's still a really good play because Thunder's not going to do much to me, and I get up free Calm Mind. I get up this Calm Mind here, and I was like, okay. I looked at the roll on this, actually, so I'm going to go for Shadow Ball right here, figuring he brought in this Golurk to take a Thunderbolt, but I do pack the Shadow Ball for this. And we do actually crit here and kill him straight off the bat, which is fortunate for me, but I looked at the roll, and it's 94 to 116%. That's like, so I had a like 70% chance I could kill him, so it really didn't probably end up mattering, because he's not going to run like defensive Golurk or anything like that. Like especially defensive Golurk like that or anything. And he brings in Becca here and Mega Evolves up, revealing that he is the Mega Altaria here. I'm just going to go for the HP Ice just to put the pressure on him and force him to kind of bring an offensive mindset here. Now he does DD up, which good for him, you know. But he's at such a low HP, it won't really end up mattering because I have too many Mons on my team. I think he has 2 left. No, he has 3 left. He has the Braviary, the Heliolisk, and this thing. So he's going to go for the Earthquake here. I stayed in because I figured if he roosted here, I would be in a kind of a bad position. So I just went for the HP Ice again, because if he roosted up there, then I possibly could take him down, depending on the roll. And I also have Poisonous here, who just outright walls the crap out of his team, the rest of his team. So I just go for the Sludge Bomb here. Maybe he was predicting to predict, I don't know, I think he might have just given up at this point, because he just bring in his Washington, which is a direct counter to this. I think maybe Heliolisk would have been like a decent play right there. I'm not really sure. Like at this point, there was no way for him to win, so I kill off Washington there. He brings in Salazar, his Heliolisk here, and he's gonna go for the Hyper Voice. I'm just gonna go for the Sludge Bomb because I have no reason not to. That's gonna do decent damage to me, but Sludge Bomb is going to do some hella damage, and he's gonna get poisoned as well. So basically, it's just insult to injury at this point, and it's really unfortunate for him. But I told Trent, you know, if you bring a defensive team and you roost all against me, I'm going to punish you for it, and I'm going to make those swaps, like I did. And here I just Giga Drain up to get some more HP, and he's gonna die down to poison damage here from the Sludge Bomb, and dead, right there. All right, cool. And basically, it's Amoonguss versus Mega Altaria. Now, Assault Amoonguss just basically walled his entire team. He didn't really have an answer for it other than the Braviary, but he let it like take too much damage too early. So he just goes for the return here, being a nice guy, knowing that he could full well probably just roost spam against me, and I'd have to swap out and like play the Regenerator game against him. But he's nice about it, and he said GG to me and everything. I get a crit to boot at the end there. That crit didn't matter. The Sludge Bomb just kills straight off the bat right there. But yeah, that ended up being the match there, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, I showed you guys, you know, how to punish a stall team roost spam. You know, you just can't get frustrated or anything like that with roost spam. You just have to kind of go offensive against it and be prepared to make those swaps like I did with the Durant against the Cresselia, just to put your opponent in a bad position, especially once you, like with stall teams, once you pick off one of their big members, like I picked off Skarmory with the Thunderbolt, it basically, like, he has such a hard time coming back, because once he's not ahead, like he's not able to stall you down, it puts you in a really bad position. But all credit to Trent, he played well. Other than a few plays, I felt he definitely understood what he was doing, and he tried to like go out and win the best way he could. And like his swaps weren't bad, other than the Braviary swap. Like the Braviary, I didn't understand really. I guess like this mon like beats this mon, but I don't want to take damage like that. And once the Skarmory went down, it was hard for him. But yeah, no, I'll credit to Trent. Great guy, great battler. I feel like prepared, and I was ready to punish you for roost spam. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the CCL for more CCL content. We have lots of good stuff going on, the nickname time, and we also have the top kills and everything like that, and people's battles are going to be going up on the CCL. So make sure to check that out. The links are down in the description below. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'm out. Bye-bye.